Hey guys, Perla here. Welcome to my channel. I'm perfectly perfect. I know my eyes, my face, everything is swollen. I don't know what's going on. Other than I've been only sleeping like 2 or 3 hours a day. My hair is a mess. Everything is a mess. I'm like, okay, should I let it grow? Should I cut it? Certain parts are not. Don't want to take any color. It's like whatever. Anywho, um, today was report card day for my little ones, my three little ones. Um, so frustrating when you got them. We have conferences tomorrow, whatever, Wednesday. So if it's Wednesday already, then today. But I just want to make a quick video because growing up, I remember always being compared to like your siblings and stuff like that, and it's very annoying. When it comes to like my kids, I don't compare them. Um, I have three in the same grade, and I have one in middle school, 8th grade. I have two that have narcolepsy. I have two that don't. I have one child that doesn't do homework, never seen him study, and he's one of those kids. The grades are like off the charts type of thing. And I have one that does her work and study, and she's, her grades are awesome, but she also puts in the hard work. And then I have one with narcolepsy, one of the girls, who study and she puts in a lot of effort and she does good, but not as high as her siblings. And I have another boy, puts in the work and he gets really good grades as well. Why am I saying that? Can't compare them though. They all learn differently. They all retain everything differently, and they all have different issues. Um, my little princess, Purple, for the longest time, she would compare herself to her twin, and she couldn't understand why her twin was getting these grades and she wasn't. I'm like, sweetie, you cannot do that to yourself. You have to compare your grades to last marking periods, to your own grades. As long as you're improving, as long as you are, learning from your mistakes and you're moving forward, that's what you have to do. And I mean, by no way is she failing. There's no, no F's or anything like that. And I didn't think I saw a C either. But what I'm trying to say is, I remember in first grade, she really, really, really took it hard. Like she wanted to get the same grades that her sister was getting and her brother was getting. And for the longest time, I know that it really affected her a lot. She has come to the understanding that because of her narcolepsy, she has to make some adjustment in her learning and her strategies and how she retains things. And she also has understood that she needs to take more breaks than most people do, which is awesome because, I mean, and also, medication has a lot to do with it. She was unmedicated for a while we were trying to find something that worked, and her grades really took a hit last year. And when she started this year, like on medication and stuff, like the teacher was like, that child is not this child, because she just blossomed completely. Um, and, you know, Mr. Green, he just, he hands me the report card. He's like, so how did I do? And I'm like, what do you think? I'm like, I'm good. And he walks away and I'm just looking at him like, you're one of those, right? You don't have to study, you don't have to do anything. Everything just kind of, you just get it, which is amazing. But, I mean, it is who he is. Um, so his grades pretty much don't change. They're pretty steady throughout the entire year. Pretty much all. That's like the kind of kid that every parent wants to have when it comes to grades. But Blue is She loves school, first of all. Let's put it that way. She loves every single aspect of school. She loves the socializing. She loves the learning. She loves everything, and she does. She works really hard. And the reason why I say about comparing and stuff like that is because when she was second grade, I want to say, no, she wasn't first. It was first. No, it was first grade, as well. She wanted to be number one at everything. She wanted to compete with everybody. She wanted to be top of everything. And by no means is something that I was trying to push on her. It was just something that she was learning from school. And she has alopecia, and she started developing a bald spot in the back of her head that started to grow. And I couldn't understand why. So I took her to the derm and we were talking and stuff. And it ended up being that it was a stress related issue. Her teacher at the time in first grade used to do this thing of like the star of the day. And she wasn't aware that the star of the day was based on by like it was organized by like your last name. So she won first, and then she didn't go again because they had to go through every single child. And she was stressing that. Oh my God, this child was stressing it. And I told her, I was like, well, you need to talk to your teacher and see what's going on. Like, are you doing something wrong or whatever? And when she asked the teacher and the teacher told her, no, it's just, it's alphabetical order, but it has to have a turn. She kind of like, and, eventually her hair started going back and it was fine. So now she has learned to know when something is stressing her. I feel like I have hair. She knows when something is stressing her, and she knows when she needs to, just ask the questions that she needs to ask and, clear things out so that she's not carrying all of that stress with her. And I mean, at 8 years old, I think that's an amazing thing. My opinion, anyways. Mr. Red, let's just say school is hard, very hard. He and I don't think it's so much like school itself. It's just the issue that we have with medications and not being able to stay medicated for a long period of time. And school can be rough. All of my kids travels for school. Nobody's in school in town. They all go to different schools, but like out of town and stuff like that. But he's very smart. He has taught himself how to do so many different things. Like he taught himself how to play the piano. He taught himself how to code. He taught himself how to draw. He taught himself how to, basically, he's like anything that he sees that he wants to learn, he just goes for it and he does it. And I can see it in him, like the drive that he has to want to be able to do more. And sometimes he feels defeated because of his narcolepsy. And I just tell him, like, dude, nah, like, just take your break and just keep going. Like, I sometimes wish I was diagnosed younger because I feel like I would have been able to cope with a lot of things. And a lot of this, had more strategies and stuff like that when it came to coping with my narcolepsy versus, trying to do it at my age with, 4 kids and everything else going on. So, I mean, there are days and there are moments where I feel like a total failure as a mom. But then there are days like today that I'm just like, oh my God, they have come like such a long way. Like for the situation that we're in with like all the medical issues and everything, emotions, they have totally, overdone it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And, we have conferences tomorrow for 3 of them. And one of the things that I have always gotten throughout the years with all of my kids when we go to conferences is how well behaved and like how well mannered they are. And, it's an amazing feeling when you know that you're at least doing something right. Like I haven't screwed them completely over. Not yet anyways, right? So, my brats. That's why I do it. That's why I do. That's why I, if I have to roll myself out of bed, like literally throw myself on the floor, that's why I do it. If I have to, whatever it is that I have to do, I do it for them. They are the future. They are, the next generation that's going to take over. And we have to sometimes remind ourselves that, yeah, we're raising kids, but at the end of the day, we're raising people. We are raising people that eventually are going to go out into the world and make changes. And what we allow them to get away with now can greatly affect them in the future. So I guess that's about it. So if you have more than one child, please do not compare one child to the other one when it comes to school. The only person that they should be trying to beat, or the only grades they should be trying to beat, is whatever they had the marking period before, whatever they had the year before, whatever it is, however you want to make it. Um, as long as they are doing their possible best, and that they're, and as a parent, when a kid is like trying to bullshit and be like, oh yeah, I did this, I did that. No, if you got an F in something because you didn't study, that's different. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kids that are pushing and fighting to get the grades and can't get higher than a C and can't get higher than a B for whatever the reason is. It's not that they're stupid or anything like that. It's just, first of all, not every child learns the same way. And unfortunately, because of how some of the schools are overcrowded, because sometimes the school don't have the resources, they do tend to not get the extra help that they need. Unfortunately, a lot of parents do work full time. A lot of parents don't have the time to come to the school and do all of this other stuff. But as parents, we have to be advocates, and we have to make sure that our kids are getting every possible chance that they can to succeed. And that if accommodations are to be needed, that we are making sure that they are getting those accommodations at school. Standardized testing, what are they called? Whatever they're called, they're coming up for the third graders at the end of April. And we got the letter, saying the paperwork for like the dates and, how to help, have them study and stuff like that. And the first thing I did when I got the letter, hey, what accommodations are you doing for Purple? Like, what is the game plan here? Because there's no way that she is going to be able to sit through a test without any breaks. Because again, after reading for a long period of time, after just staring at a screen for so long, and you're so exhausted because you haven't rested, because your brain hasn't rested enough, everything just kind of starts to look the same, basically. So, and that's what we have to do as parents. We have to not be embarrassed and not be ashamed of being advocates for our kids. Well, guys, thank you for watching.